Hello and welcome to another stream of Vampyr. Hey there, Neo. It's going really good, thank you. How's things going with you? This is going to be a short stream, and on Tuesdays I do two separate streams on the same day. So I'll do a short stream of this, and then I'll take my break, and then I'll come back with another stream later. We're going to continue on. We're going to start doing some Chapter 3 mission stuff and see how we go with that. And the stream title for this part, Physician of Darkness. I was trying to think of another title that I could do, which was a play on a vampire movie. And I was thinking, and I didn't want to just do, Doctor again, because I already called part 2 of this playthrough Doctor of the Damned, which was a reference to Queen of the Damned, the novel and the movie. And so for this stream title, I was looking at other vampire movie titles, and I was like, I'll take the movie title from one of Christopher Lee's Dracula movies called Dracula, Prince of Darkness. And I wasn't going to put, Jonathan's name in there. I figured I may as well just shorten it and make it relevant to this game, and we're playing a doctor who's a vampire, so I changed Prince of Darkness to Physician of Darkness. So that's what the current stream title is referencing. It's referencing the movie Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Neo, pretty good, mate. Bit of a headache, but apart from that, you can't complain. Well, I hope that you get rid of that headache soon, Neo. That kind of thing just disrupts everything else, and you can't, concentrate for one, but you can't necessarily enjoy things that you normally enjoy, It's kind of like when you get like a toothache or something. It just, sometimes it can override so much other stuff.
Evening, Edgar. Could I get your professional opinion?
Please speak, but I have something important to tell you.
This strain of flu, it's very different from the one I saw in Europe. It's downright peculiar.
Really? What makes you say that?
I've just looked at the blood of one of our recently deceased.
I see. Do you have anything more to go on?
This disease spreads and looks like the Spanish flu, but its effects differ greatly. The London strain is different from the continental one.
This is very interesting. Did you find something else?
Yes. Unlike the flu, the infected begin to show an increase in outwardly aggressive behavior. More than simple agitation. Once docile people become violent.
You mean like rabies? Is there a chance we could create a vaccine, Jonathan, like Pasteur? By the stove, that would be smashing.
There's a lot we're not seeing here. But it is spreading, and quickly. If we don't act, the whole city could be lost.
But Jonathan, we've a fantastic opportunity sitting right here in front of us. A weapon of choice.
What on earth do you mean?
Why, you, my dear boy. With your expertise and your blood, we could isolate the properties that course through your veins. Think about the possibilities.
I admit it did occur to me. Blood seems to be the common factor in all of this.
I totally agree. We're in uncharted territory here. Maybe it's just wishful thinking, but imagine the possibilities.
We'll discuss this more later. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Jonathan. But as I said, I needed to talk to you. I have some rather bad news.
Yes?
I'm afraid it's your sister.
My sister?
She's to be buried this evening at Whitechapel Cemetery. Your mother published the obituary this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Please accept my condolences.
I need to talk to you, Edgar.
Please do so.
Nurse Crane will not be returning to Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, really? Did something happen? She seems such a very capable woman.
She was blackmailing Lady Ashbury. Thought she was murdering patients as some sick upper-class game.
Nurse Crane was playing a dangerous game. She's lucky Lady Ashbury abhors violence.
Do you know anything about the vampire hunters in the East End?
Without a doubt, it's the Guard of Prewen. Zealots to the last man.
Hello, Ryu. Welcome on in, dude. Hope it's going well.
They're definitely well organized and equipped.
They're extremely dangerous, and not to be trifled with. To them, you're a feral beast, and I, your accomplice.
Where do they come from?
Once they shared the Brotherhood's ideology on non-intervention, but they concluded vampires were a scourge.
Ryu, yep, it's going well. Awesome. That's good to hear, dude.
So you manage a hospital financed by a vampire?
Yes, Pembroke was founded by Lady Ashbury. She's also our largest donor.
If I may inquire, how did you meet her?
Well, Jonathan, she sought me out and offered me the position. It's been a very profitable partnership for both parties.
A convenient yet expensive way to have a fresh supply of blood on hand, day and night, don't you think?
All vampires drink blood by nature. Me, I praise the lady's exemplary moral fiber.
We'll talk later.
Morning letter. Pembroke Hospital, 25th of October. Dear Dr. Swansea, I must inform you of my deepest reservations concerning the Dr. Thoreau Strickland and Harvey Fiddick case. Mr. Fiddick has been hospitalized after a severe work injury. He may permanently lose the use of his arm if not treated adequately. Dr. Strickland claims that a surgical procedure may save the man's arm completely. I say it may also sever its functions for good if complications arise. Our young colleague is an audacious and daring surgeon who might prove a great professional in a few years, but for now he lacks the skills to perform such a risky procedure. Need I remind you of the mistakes he made in the past? Since Dr. Strickland refuses to listen to me, I strongly advise you to forbid him to perform such a hazardous experiment. Very respectfully, Dr. Waverly Ackroyd. I'm sorry, but whenever I hear the name Strickland, I can't help but think of Strickland in the Back to the Future movies. And when I see the word Ackroyd, I can't help but think of actor Dan Aykroyd. One of my favorite Strickland moments is in Back to the Future 2, when Marty travels to the alternate 1985, and everything has gone to shit, and Strickland has body armor on and is equipped with a shotgun, and Marty comes across him, and this gang that drives past, I always remember the way that the gang leader says his name before they do the drive-by shooting. It's like, Strickland! Slacker! Could you imagine Arnie being a teacher? You're a slacker. I mean, we can imagine. We've seen him be a teacher in Kindergarten Cop, but I mean, being an actual proper teacher from the beginning of the story. Imagine a role like that. I'm an educator. Come on, over here. Knock, knock. It's time to study. Now. Neo, eat lead, slackers. It's a great moment in that movie. There is no bathroom. There is no bathroom, man. Are you nuts?
I never thought I would have to attend my murdered sister's funeral. Mary, I can't forgive myself. I'll find the truth about what happened to us. I swear.
Neo, the school burned down 6 years ago. I don't know who the hell you are, but you look to me like a slacker. I ended up stopping the fight because the game won't let you open doors and stuff in combat. I think it is Neo. Yeah, I think this game is on Xbox as well. I hate getting stun locked in this game. Enemies can be OP like that.
Fight for this! Filthy fucking
Like, I don't know how many upgrades I've gotten, but these enemies still can kick my ass. I feel the balancing's a bit unfair in this game's difficulty. It seems at random that enemies can get a boost of health or damage. Oh, nice, Neo. That's cool. Yeah, it's a good game. I'm enjoying it. There have been moments of frustration because sometimes the enemies will stun lock you and get multiple hits in on you without you even being able to dodge out of the way. And sometimes you're trying to get to a certain spot, but you end up going the wrong way, or you come to a dead end. It's like, I'm trying to get to this mission objective, but path to it seems to be intricate and labyrinth-like, like we're in a maze or something. It's so funny, Ubisoft recently, they've been releasing a lot of videos on YouTube about Skull and Bones. And they've even gotten Michelle Rodriguez to be in a video of them playing the game. And Ubisoft is so desperate that they were showing her the later stages of the game. How many companies advertise when they're trying to sell their game end game content? It'd be like if Rockstar, when they were selling GTA 6, decided to show you the second last mission of the game and tell you that this was the second last mission of the game.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Now, I like Michelle Rodriguez. I think she's pretty cool. But clearly, they just wanted to get someone
Despicable.
that had some kind of level of familiarity with, you know, video games. Because I remember even listening to the audio commentary for the first Resident Evil movie that she was a big gamer. So it makes sense from that standpoint. And not everyone would know who she is, but if you're a fan of the Fast and Furious movies, most likely you would. So Ubisoft is obviously hoping that by bringing a celebrity to help advertise the game, that it's going to be, you know, even more marketing for them. They're not the first company to do that, obviously. OP humans against a vampire. This would be like a pissant human going up to Blade and kicking his ass. That's how unrealistic to the quote-unquote realism of a vampire versus a human this game gets. And I know, it's a video game, so, you know, there has to be some limits. But still, these human enemies can sometimes be even more difficult than the supernatural enemies you fight.
Over there!
But yeah, Ubisoft clearly wants Skull and Bones to do big business. And it needs to, because they've spent 10 years of development money on it. And so they need to do whatever they can to make sure that they get as much money as possible. Which, granted, is a general thing that all companies want to do, obviously. But when you have a company that has spent 10 years on something, multiple reboots of the idea, multiple different teams, those people don't work for free. They have to get paid. So let's just say they had the first version of Skull and Bones. All the people they hired for version 1 had to get paid. All the people that were then hired for version 2 had to get paid. Any people that were working on the game that were brought in throughout the 10-year period had to get paid. Illustrators, writers, designers, you know, you name it. And they need this game to be big. They need it to be GTA numbers of money. They need billions. to actually even break even, most likely. That's a lot of money. Here's an example of a movie, Superman Returns. Warner Brothers had already spent millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in development for that movie. So by the time it came out, it had to make back so much money. I think it was an insane amount. I think it was like $500 million it had to make back to just be even.
Over there! Watch it! It's a killer!
Oh, bullshit. Bullshit. Whatever, game. Little pissant humans. And the thing is, you know, if Skull and Bones comes out and people have fun with it, hey, you know, that's one thing. That's a separate thing. You know? But from a financial business perspective, Ubisoft really need that game to make a lot of money. That's why they're so adamant on advertising how many seasons worth they're doing before the games even come out. That's why they're getting celebrities to be in their videos. And that's why they're also showing end game content that you would expect to come across, you know, towards the end of the game. They're desperate, and, you know, doesn't matter how fun the game is, from a business perspective, if it doesn't make the money that they need, then it's a loss. Ubisoft takes a loss financially. They need a profit. Hey Stan, waiting for Arnie cooldown for an Arnie teacher impression that you haven't copy-paste? Oh, nice. From your 6 hours of gameplay, you don't think they will make the money they wasted on it. They will go red in terms of finances for that game, in my opinion. It will be released this February. That's true, Stan. Yeah, it'll be released on the 16th. And I'll be into the Tomb Raider remasters by then. However, on that day, before I do my stream of the Tomb Raider games, I'm going to be doing a Black Flag stream. And I'm going to stream it for a few hours, and I'm only going to focus on naval stuff. So what I'll do is I'll get the game to a certain point where we can just free roam on the ocean, and then I'm going to show all the things that you can do in that game that you can't in Skull and Bones, i.e. boarding a ship and having combat. But yeah, you're definitely right there, Stan. You know, like, they need that to do big, and they need that Star Wars game to do big, and they need the next Assassin's Creed game to do big. But one of the Ubisoft's problems is they're always trying to fit 5 types of games into one. They're trying to make an MMO RPG. They're trying to make a first-person game. They're trying to make a real-time strategy game. They're trying to make a action-adventure game. They're trying to make an open-world game. They're trying to make, you know, 5 different games in one.
My dear sister, I don't know if I have the strength. thirst for blood.
Stan, not to affect any opinions of anyone, but when you played, you knew there would be problems such as glitches, flickers, server availability, etc. because, you know, it is a beta test. But ignoring those, you're like, they spent 10 years on this? Yeah, Stan, that's it. You know, like, IGN released a video recently where they went into... And it wasn't IGN themselves and no one from Ubisoft talking about it. They actually had former people who worked on Skull and Bones, who are still with the company, but they had worked on Skull and Bones, and they talked about the different versions and all that, and how it changed to be different games and stuff.
This is despicable.
I really think that Ubisoft are trying to make Skull and Bones a AAA version of a mobile game. Which I wouldn't be surprised. And you got to remember too, their NFT thing, the quartz or whatever, that was a bust of a thing. That went nowhere. Chasing trends is not what you need to do. Ubisoft used to set the trends. Now they go for them. At the expense of the integrity of their franchises. That's why they want to, you know, triple down on Assassin's Creed, because they know that that's their main cash cow. Like, obviously Far Cry is a big franchise for them. But Assassin's Creed is the franchise that really put Ubisoft on a different playing field. But they've squandered that in recent years, trying to make the games into something that they aren't. Now, I understand you want to do spin-offs. Like, if you want to do a spin-off of a franchise into a different form.
Since I can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony.
You can do that, but, you know, try and keep the integrity of the overall franchise solid.
I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father, the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Why kill my Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place?
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic, madam.
Oh, Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
Oh, Mary. What have I done? If I could only change one thing. One thing. This is a nightmare.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do but accept it.
What brings you here?
I thought you could use the company. I am so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
I wish the tears would come. But I'm empty. And I feel a hypocrite.
Let your pain run free, Jonathan. Don't smother it. What you feel is your humanity. Don't be so quick to lose it.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with this. You must learn to live with what happened.
I'm learning. Every night is a new lesson. What I am, what I must do to survive. But my sister, she shouldn't have suffered because of my weakness.
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary's forgiveness, if you must.
You may be right.
Of course. I've stared upon this world for centuries. And time has taught me to deal with guilt, if not erase it.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there and make your peace. Find the solace you need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
Stan, now they miss trends. They were like, we will go for crypto, NFTs, and then bam, crypto had the biggest crash in its history. Yeah, I mean, when new things like that pop up, it's that balance. Do you go all in on it because you might get massive rewards, or do you wait and see how things fall? It's that sort of balance of weighing that up, and they went all in for no reward. Hey there, Ronnie. She'll be back. Funerals and vampire stories are not always permanent. They're not, no. That's for sure, Ronnie. How's it going, dude? Stan, also, you think your opinion on the Skull and Bones was heavily affected by your love of Black Flag because you're totally in love with that game. And I don't blame you at all, Stan, because I know people think of it more as a pirate game than an Assassin's Creed game, and I strongly disagree. But putting that aside, all the things that you can do in that game with the pirate ships and the boarding of the ships and all that kind of stuff, going around looking for treasure on different islands, it's that experience that people, when they first heard about Skull and Bones, who were fans of Black Flag, wanted. That's what they wanted. And Ubisoft was working to that end. But then they decided to change what type of game they were doing. You know what I mean? And that's where this division has started. Because people think about the potential and promise of what they initially had versus what they're giving now. Whereas people who like that kind of game are going to lap that up because that's the kind of game that they want. If I'm working on the next Doom game and I develop it as a traditional Doom game and then I decide, you know what, I'm not actually going to make it a traditional Doom game now. I'm going to turn it into a point-and-click adventure comedy game, and that's what we're going to go with. How many people who are fans of Doom would want that? Not very many. So that would be a bad decision on my part, But Ubisoft always do this. they always go for other player bases at the expense of their potential current player base. If you're a fan of multiple different types of games, then it doesn't matter because you're going to gravitate towards different things. If you're a fan of first-person shooters, but also a fan of real-time strategy games, you're going to do both. You know, you're going to go towards both. If you're trying to do a stealth game and you want people who don't like stealth games to actually play the game, there's only a certain number of things that you can do before the integrity of its stealth as a stealth game is hurt. So that the people who do like stealth games then end up getting a half-assed attempt at stealth because they were trying to cater to the people that didn't like stealth games. Companies need to realize that you're not going to get every player who plays video games to play your game. You just have to accept that there's going to be some people who don't like real-time strategy games and they're going to play your first-person shooter game. So just cater to them. The people who also like first-person shooter games and also like real-time strategy games will play your first-person shooter game. But you don't need to ruin the integrity of your first-person shooter game to make the people who don't like first-person shooter games appeased. It's like it's like peeing in the wind and expecting it to miss you and go back into the spot that you were peeing in. It's not. It's going to come back and fly and hit you in the face, and you're not going to be feeling good after that. You know, so that's what companies need to learn. You know, the best way to get people to play your game is to double down on what kind of game you're an expertise in and what people love to see from you. And that'll get you the people to play it. You might end up getting other people who like multiple different kinds of games to like your game as well. But you need to satisfy your core audience. But yeah, with Skull and Bones, the core audience was going to be those who enjoyed Black Flag, but wanted their own pirate game like that, but with new things added, of course, to help make it its own thing. But they're not getting that now. So the people who wanted that aren't getting that, but the people who like the current style of game are going to be enjoying it because that's their style of game, you know. But yeah, it's going to be a test financially with them. Neo, would you ever stream The Witcher 3 at some point in time? I know you have quite a few games lined up. I've streamed it and played it a few years ago because I played Witcher 1, 2, and 3. But it is a big time sink, and I would like to replay it again, but I don't know when as well. It's a bit of a shuffling game with what games I do and when. Because there's also Hellblade 2, which is coming out in May, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream that anyway. Potentially that Star Wars game that I've got an eye on is coming out in May. And there's also my annual series that I do. So I don't know when I'll get to Witcher 3. But I would like to replay Witcher 3 again at some point, but I don't know when. Stan, it sure can be very fun, and you agree on that. The Black Flag clouds your vision. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, not everyone who plays video games cares about the business side of it. You know, they don't care about if a company's, you know, needing to make heaps of money on their game. All they care about is the game fun? And that's fair enough. And if people enjoy Skull and Bones because they like the gameplay, then that's fine. But there's no denying that Ubisoft need it to be a smash hit. They don't need it to just be, you know, a decent success. They need GTA numbers. Think about that. They need GTA numbers. GTA, despite the memes, you know, about GTA 6, when GTA 6 comes out, it's going to be billions of dollars that it's going to make. Ubisoft ain't going to make that with Skull and Bones, I can tell you now. And they won't release how much money it's cost over time to actually work on the game. As I said, every time they change course and hire new people, that's more money spent on resources, you know. Ronnie, you're doing well. It's almost bedtime for you, just unwinding at the end of the day. Well, that's good, Ronnie. I'm glad to hear that's going well. Nero, the delays have been horrid. They have been. Yeah, there's been at least 4 public delays, maybe 5, let alone any internal delays that happened that they haven't, made public. At one time, they were working on 12 Battle Royale games. 12. They put them through playtesting. All 12 failed the playtesting. Players apparently had nothing good to say about it, so they cancelled all 12. That's 12 games. They put money into that. This is what some people don't realize. When they're developing games, they don't just have, they don't get a writer to write the story and don't pay them anything. They don't hire concept artists to do concept artist work and not pay them anything. They have to pay all these people, and that's 12 games in development. And they had to spend money on getting the playtesters because they got to get paid too, Ronnie, you still think you'll play Skull and Bones. You don't know if you'll stream them, but you'll at least take a look. That's fair enough, Ronnie. But yeah, I definitely won't be playing the game at all, even if it was $5. Because what I want is a open-world pirate action-adventure game. To be honest, if you took the kind of game that Red Dead Redemption 2 is, in terms of its scope, its scale, I want that, but as a pirate game. And Ubisoft would never be able to do that, but if Rockstar could do a pirate game, then that would be awesome. But that's what I want. I want a pirate game that's an action-adventure open world that also pays homage to a lot of pirate movies and stories and, all that kind of stuff. These enemies shouldn't be this OP.
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion. Shed your skin, forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon?
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
These immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel.
Stan, you picture the GTA 6 release like, how you squeeze the end of a hose and when you release it, water comes with a lot of burst. Skull and Bones is a game you would love to play with you guys. It might be very fun with friends. Yeah, I can definitely see it being popular as a multiplayer game. I think the big thing is they haven't clearly advertised the game as not a land-based exploration game as well, you know, and that's what some people might be expecting, but you don't get. They might be expecting that you roam around the game world on foot, on islands, and go into secret passages and explore and find treasures in that sense. Whereas all it will be, oh, there's an island, go over to it. Get off the ship. You don't actually see the character get off the ship. You just get off the ship, automatically teleport to the island. There's the chest. In a cutscene, character picks up the chest and then it goes back to the ship. You know, that's probably what it's going to be, you know. And if it's not that, they haven't even clearly advertised that that's not how it's going to be either, you know. So they haven't done a good job with that. It's almost like they're avoiding it, you know. It's like when people ask about the parkour systems of a new AC game and Ubisoft doesn't address it. It's for a reason. They don't want to address that kind of stuff. Because to them, that's a failing, and they don't want to focus on their failings. Ronnie, that would be one of the best games of all time. The writing of Red Dead 2 mixed with an open world and open sea piracy. Exactly, Ronnie. You know, I think that kind of approach. And I'm surprised that in all the years of development, that another studio hasn't done a AAA quality pirate exploration game. That is, like, obviously there's other games that use the pirate era, like Sea of Thieves and stuff. But I'm talking like a third-person action adventure exploration pirate game. Hey, White Monk, you were looking forward, Bones and Skull, watching streams, nothing like pirate game, which is a shame. Oh my god, Skull and Bones. Yeah, when Skull and Bones comes out, I'm going to be streaming Black Flag and doing all the pirate stuff. It won't be a long stream, like I'll probably do it for a few hours, like a couple of hours. You are scholars. That's it. They are. Hey, Mr. Goatee. Ronnie, you just finished a novel of Salem's Lot, which is an amazing vampire novel by Stephen King from the 1970s. In the beta that you played, there was a lot of ship-to-ship combat. Yeah, dude, yeah. That's the thing. Like, they show land-based stuff, but it's only exploration on the hub. You know, you go around and you speak to people, traders, to create things for your ship. You talk to people to get missions from them, but that's about it. Like, there's nothing deeper than that. And yeah, I haven't actually read that novel, Ronnie. There's a few Stephen King novels I still haven't gotten to.
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
Just know, I cared for her.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
It was an accident. A terrible, terrible accident.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
She died because of me. How do you think I feel?
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What would you like her to know?
I'm so sorry, Mary. I promise to find who is responsible for all this. I'll put an end to this horror.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
Whatever happened on this dock is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all.
It's interesting when you think about vampires and the connection between, religion and all that kind of stuff. I believe in the Anne Rice Chronicles that, I can't remember which vampire says it, but there's a vampire that says that in all their years of searching for any signs of God, they've found none. Nothing of that sort of nature has happened to them. Like, there's been no miracles that they've seen performed. There's been, nothing like that. It might even be Louis, actually, in Interview with a Vampire. And then you have Dracula, the 1992 movie, Bram Stoker's Dracula, where Dracula was actually a soldier fighting and really believed in God a lot. But when his wife killed herself under the false belief that he had been killed, he was so filled with rage that he denounced God and drank the blood coming from the actual cross itself, and that is the origin of his vampirism, And there's that scene where he's in the form of like a bat, where he talks about how his God has forsaken him, that kind of stuff.
This one's an... Die, vermin!
Ronnie, Salem's Lot is pretty early king. He's not afraid to kill major characters. Memnoch the Devil is a very interesting book from Anne Rice about religion in the vampire space. Oh, really, Ronnie? Yeah, that's one I never read. I only read the first three. Interview with the Vampire, Lestat, and Queen of the Damned. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, killing off major characters in fiction. I mean, sometimes it's very tough. And I think sometimes it also depends on how it's done. Like the way certain things happen to a certain Caped Crusader in a certain game that came out recently. The way in which it was done, the person who did it, their motives are sound, but it's just a shit sandwich. See, I hate enemies in games that just become so fucking OP. Like, they're only one level above me. It's not like they're 15 levels above. Great. Wasted my health thing.
Die, vermin!
And then a random other enemy just pops up. Yeah, sure game.
I'll kill it! Snap it, leech!
I can't believe I'm doing this. This is despicable.
The stream title for this stream is a play on the Christopher Lee Dracula movie called Dracula Prince of Darkness. Since we're playing as a doctor who's a vampire, I thought I would change that to Physician of Darkness instead of Prince, plus keeping the two words the same, starting with P, Prince and Physician, and dropping the Dracula, obviously, because we're not playing as Dracula, we're playing as a character named Jonathan. And to make the stream title shorter, I didn't put Jonathan, Physician of Darkness, but That would have been a good title too, but it would have been too long. I'm trying to make the stream titles for this playthrough match or be a reference to existing titles for vampire movies, primarily.
Remorse and pain are precious when binding you to the earth.
You. I remember you.
Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
This is your doing. You made me. Made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
You selected me. Chose me.
As shall my children yet to come.
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
Hey there, Gamer Loop. How's things going for you?
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Oh, great, Gamer Loop. That's awesome. That's good. As for me, I'm doing well. Making some good progress in Chapter 3 for this game at the moment.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room, then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No. I was working by the tents when it all happened. I only entered the room when they asked me to clean up the blood.
Where is Miss Jones's body?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue. It all happened so quickly.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but... well, maybe it was him.
Tell me what Dr. Tippett did. I know his mistake caused a patient's death.
If I had not covered up his error, Dr. Tippett would have been fired from this hospital. I could not let that happen.
You can't allow your emotions to dictate your conduct concerning patients, Nurse Brannigan.
Look around you, Dr. Reid. Do you really think we can afford to lose a brilliant practitioner like Dr. Tippett's in our situation?
Gamer Loop, also you made a new discovery. Lara saying old tracker sounds like she is saying alpaca. You don't know why. I'm looking for an alpaca. An alpaca. Old tracker alpaca.
I can't say I approve of what you did. But as a field surgeon, I know that some situations require you to bend the rules.
I'm not proud of what I've done, but to contain the epidemic must be our priority, so we can't afford to lose Dr. Tippett.
Why does Dr. Tippett claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
I've decided that I won't reveal Dr. Tippett's, shall we say, misdemeanor.
I'm so glad you share my point of view. Dr. Tippett is a brilliant practitioner. We most definitely need his know-how.
I hope you're right. This is a huge risk we're taking.
Dr. Tippett must regain his confidence. Please, keep this decision between you and me. He doesn't need to know you found out.
Oh, hint failed. Alright. Fair enough. It's very hard to know when a hint's going to fail because of your decision in a dialogue, but...
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance. Good evening, Nurse
Good evening, Doc.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
I will be fine, as soon as I can get some sleep.
Nurse, you won't be able to help people if you're sick. Take this, and do try to get some rest.
I'll try, Dr. Reid. Thank you.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
I'm really sorry, sir. I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
The daily route.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reid.
Soldier, do you need assistance?
Not really. I think I caught something in this bloody hospital. I swear I'm dead, yet smiling inside, Dr. Reid.
As long as you remain here, I will make sure you don't have to worry about your health.
Don't think you can do much about it. Damage is done.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reid.
Do you need medical help yourself, nurse?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reid.
Not under my watch, nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reid.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
The suffering continues.
Jonathan, My sincere condolences for your loss.
Your kindness is much appreciated, my lady.
Is there anything you require?
I spied my mother at the funeral. Have you ever revealed yourself to a member of your family?
No, Jonathan. And I'd advise you even from thinking about it.
Are we then condemned to lie to those we love?
We are creatures of deception, my friend. But this is more for their sake than ours.
But what if I was close to someone and wished to tell them the truth?
Fear, loathing, disgust. And then they will plead to be turned. They will see it as salvation. Then there's the risk of gaining the attention of vampire hunters.
Wait, Monk, since you're on Xbox 2 to 3 weeks ago, you picked up Hellblade. 2.49 nearly broke the bank. Have not played yet. You'll pay for the game. Take your ages to play. Can understand my logic. Well, yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes it's good to have a backlog of games because then you might pick up a game and go, oh, haven't played this before, let's check it out. Hellblade is a great game, so when you do play it, be interesting to see what you think about it, because I really love that game a lot. And the sequel for it comes out in May this year as well.
Are we condemned to attend the funerals of all we love?
Dying is the final act of life, Jonathan. Present company excluded. Accept it.
As a practitioner of the medical sciences, I'm prepared for the death of loved ones. But mourning in the shadows, deprived of sharing one's grief.
We are no longer a part of the circle of life and death. We are undead, my friend, and so we are outcasts.
I don't know what to expect. Am I cursed to an eternity of solitude?
With time, we Ekon tend to go into isolation. If we survive long enough, that is.
Goodbye, my lady. Until we meet again.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Do you require medical attention as well, Mrs. Goswick?
Do you know you're the only one who's asked me this? No, I don't feel well, actually.
Despite what you think about this place, I can tell you with absolute certainty, taking this will help you recover.
Well, at least your reputation seems well-deserved. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for this hospital.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reid. Any news about my operation?
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
Really? Why has no one else asked me that since I got here? I thought I was in a hospital.
Unfortunately, you are not the only person who needs help. And complaining about it won't do you any good.
Well, perhaps you're right, Dr. Reid. I'm sure if me missus was still alive, she wouldn't be happy with me going on like this.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Nice, sweet girl.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reid.
Do you need my assistance?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm capable of dealing with this myself. I've just not taken the time to do so.
Then you are lucky that I have taken the time to do so. Consider it a gesture of solidarity between professionals.
I wish this hospital could have received as much attention from you, Dr. Reid. We do not see you in surgery very often.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Alright, so I think I gave everyone some medicine. Well, not everyone. There's some other people. 1, 2, 3. Don't have a cure for migraine at the moment. Not really a cure, because that implies that once you take the cure for migraine, you never have a migraine for the rest of your life. So we've got Milton Hooks, Rakesh Newton that we can help.
Good evening, Dr. Reid. Such a pleasure to see you again.
Do you need medical attention?
Well, the proximity of the dead is not the most healthy company, even if the quiet can be appreciated.
Don't take too many risks with your health, Mr. Chidana. None of us are immune to this disease.
And that is a good thing. Death and disease is a constant reminder of our mortality. But you have my thanks, Dr. Reid.
Goodbye, Mr. Chidana. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money, and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reid.
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm afraid I do. Like everyone in this hospital. It's a sad state of affairs when even the hospital workers are worried about disease.
Our job brings us into contact with all kinds of infections, Milton. There's no shame in being ill while you're in a hospital.
That's easy for you to say, Doctor. I get the feeling you don't fall sick often. Well, thanks, anyway.
Goodbye, Milton. I cannot enter.
Alright, we can't help them then. Or one of them. I don't have the cure for migraine yet. Hello, Shaky. How's it going? Welcome.
Only the Brotherhood can save London from explosion.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCullum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
I couldn't help but think of Highlander. One of the rules in Highlander is that immortals cannot fight each other on holy ground or neutral territory, although it is specifically holy ground in Highlander. Shaky, hope the day is treating you well. It is, thanks Shaky. It's going well. How about yourself?
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Ronnie also. There can be only one. Yes, but it will not be you. That third Highlander movie. Shaky nuns. No sense of humor. It's better to burn out than to fade away. Whenever I play Detroit Become Human, the character of Hank is played by Clancy Brown, and there's a main character in the story called Connor. So every time Hank says the name Connor, I can't help but think of Clancy Brown as the Kurgan and Connor in Highlander. Ramirez. I see my cut has improved your voice.
Very well. I'll help you.
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You need to know you can trust me, Edgar.
I do, dear fellow, I do.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Well, they are not far wrong. The hospital is almost crawling with vampires.
McCullum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
Ronnie, but honestly, it has one of the best movie soundtracks of all time. It really does. It really, really does. That was actually my first introduction to Queen as a band, was that movie. And I remember the first time I heard the Princes of the Universe song in full. I was not expecting it to go the way that it did. Because obviously in the movie Highlander, they only have the first part of it. Shaky, oh man, you never thought of that? Yeah, it's so cool, that kind of thing. But yeah, it's interesting how certain actors can become known for different things depending on which generation encounters them. And it's cool too for the person because it means they've got multiple different generations of fan bases. Dr. Ronnie, a head that at this time has no name. I know his name. Here I am. Shaky Juan Sanchez Villaboso Ramirez. Juan Sanchez Villaboso Ramirez. You know, a Spaniard. Exactly. He was also an Egyptian or something too. White Monk, you're going to play Hellblade before Hellblade 2 comes out. It's kind of tricky, White Monk, because I think it's going to be an Xbox exclusive. And the problem with that is, as a streamer, there's no way I'll be able to actually stream it, because I have issues streaming directly from the Xbox console. And when I use the Xbox app to stream games from, I can't have it in full screen because there's a control panel icon on the app screen that doesn't go away in full screen. In windowed mode, I can actually hide it in the black bars on the screen, but I don't want to compromise the image quality of a newer game by having to do it in windowed mode. So most likely what will happen is I'll just play the game, because I want to avoid spoilers, so I'll probably just play the game off stream on Xbox so I can at least experience it myself, because I know that it'll probably be a while before PlayStation gets it. Letter of Rakesh Chadana, Pembroke Hospital, 4th of August. Dear Dr. Swansea, I will be glad to manage the temporary morgue as soon as it's opened. As I have already told you, I was a doctor during the war, and I will be glad to serve my country again. I know it is not the same being a physician for the dead as it is for the living, but I believe it important to welcome and take good care of our departed too. Rest assured, I will do my best to fully perform this new duty to the best of my ability. Concerning the question of my qualifications, I'm sorry I can't give you anything more valuable than my parole. I swear to you that my regiment made me a doctor during the war, and that I saved many lives. If my word is not enough, you can contact the military administration to verify my experience and skills. They will confirm that even if I never followed any medical studies, the war taught me what a doctor really needs to know. Always sincerely, Rakesh Chadana, former doctor.
If you don't mind, I have a few questions.
I'd be delighted to help you if I'm able.
I recently tried to enter a church. It has been a very unpleasant experience.
The Brotherhood's research on the matter of faith and vampirism has proved somewhat insubstantial, to say the least.
It's hard to explain in terms of science, that's for sure.
I'm sure Lady Ashbury will have far greater insight into this matter than little old me.
Is this proof that I'm cursed in the eyes of the divine?
The wrath of the Almighty? There's no way of knowing. It could be subconscious guilt, or irrational fear, or deep-seated beliefs.
Who was that man in your office?
Geoffrey McCullum, actual leader of the Guard of Prewen. I suspect he's the man behind the rebirth of this old and dusty society.
What do they hope to achieve?
Their ultimate goal is the eradication of all vampires in the country. They see you as a threat to mankind, Jonathan.
They know I'm here now, don't they?
I can guarantee one thing. The Guard of Prewen would never dare to attack the hospital while I'm in charge here.
What exactly happened here while I was absent?
Hampton turned, quite violently as it happened. Lurking about, attacked Miss Jones. To say he created quite a commotion would be an understatement.
How did the Guard of Prewen come to hear of this?
McCullum has spies everywhere. He will jump at any opportunity to disparage the Brotherhood and show his contempt.
Are you sure it was Hampton that killed Miss Jones?
There was blood everywhere, but no body. And you know the state she was in. I fear for what he did with her. Hopefully he just hid the corpse.
I just recently met the strangest creature in Whitechapel. He was immense. He mocked me and accused me of hypocrisy.
Perhaps it was a skull. London's streets are overflowing with them these days.
It was a vampire, all right. But what kind, I'm not sure. He was large and very fast.
If you find anything more about this creature, the Brotherhood would greatly appreciate any information you could spare.
He was observing me with the obvious intent to do me harm. His very presence evoked a palpable sense of menace.
You need to be careful, Jonathan. We've no idea what this creature really is.
Thank you, Edgar. Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
The prices and stocks of the merchants in this district may have changed. Good. Maybe they might sell some good handle parts so I can actually get my weapon upgraded to the next level.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doc.
I'd like...
Wise choice, Dr. Reid.
No. Of course not.
Hey! What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
All I know is I ain't letting anyone rip my throat out in my sleep. I found myself a nice blade, Doc. I'm ready.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox. It seems the Priwen are redoubling their patrols in the district. I must be more careful.
Fear no evil. We do the Lord's work here. It's an evil. Get it!
Christ! Shit, that leech is fast!
Everything seems under control, more or less.
Don't forget to keep an eye out for this guard of something, sweetie. My guess is they're recruiting for some vengeance.
In the meantime, the boys are waiting for for your orders, my sweet queen.
I hope the rumors about Clay are true. Otherwise...
You again. What do you want?
Do you know where I can find Sean Hampton? I need to talk to him.
The sad saint. Why on earth do you want to talk to him?
He was one of my patients at the Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, yeah. I heard the poor bastard had been abducted by some cunt. You better ask Tom Watts. He knows Sean Hampton well.
Goodbye, Mr. Digby. Good evening, Miss Cox.
Hello again, Dr. Reid. What do you want?
I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where I could find him?
The sad saint? I heard he was mugged or something.
Yes, he was. But he left hospital recently.
You don't say. Well, I suppose it's good news for the homeless and the useless. Ask them, they must know something.
Goodbye, Miss Cox.
Mark my words, miss. These murders are the work of a vampire.
A vampire? Whatever do you mean?
I'm a tracker of these creatures. A vampire hunter.
You best be off to your hunting then. For if the sewer dog is back, and hunting all these poor folk, he needs a catching.
A sewer dog? What's it look like?
It's an old story. A monster with daggers for teeth and icy claws. He comes of a sudden, nighttime, claiming innocence, then vanishes.
Teeth, claws, murders by night? Your sewer dog is my business. He's the kind of prey I hunt, milady.
Not a drop of blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire.
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter? Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. I'd like to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Poor boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
So, how exactly are you protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual. I try and encourage people to stay indoors, but people are careless.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
Have you heard of the Guard of Priwen?
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
Stanley, well, aren't you posh, Mr. Ichabod Throgmorton, sir? His name compliments to his accent so well. It really does. And it's so funny. Like, Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter. Van Helsing, vampire hunter. There's just something about names, you know. He should shorten it to Ichabod Throg. Ichabod Morton. Ichabod Throg. What a mighty name, indeed. I wonder what his full name would be, like his middle names as well.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm more of a silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me, Mr. Throgmorton?
The sad saint? He should be at his night asylum at this hour, but I cannot tell you how to find it, sorry.
Really? Why is that?
It's nothing personal, Doctor. I'm sure your intentions are good, but people who sleep there, they have plenty of reasons to hide.
Nice one, Stan. So, Ichabod Carl Davidson Throgmorton III.
I could make you tell me, but I respect your refusal. You really believe Sean is a saint, don't you?
All I will say is this. Gossip has it that when he was a child, he was molested. By a priest of all people. Funny thing is, though, it only strengthened his faith.
Yeah. Great. Stan lives in a remote mansion in English suburbs. That's right. In Southwark. I don't know.
Maybe at least you can tell me who could help me find him.
Tell you what, go and chat with Tom Watts. He's a bartender and good judge of character. If he talks to you, then it's fine by me.
Ronnie, thanks for redeeming the Red Dead 2 quote. Okay, so I've got a quote, Ronnie. Nothing means more to me than this gang. I would kill for it. I would happily die for it. I wish things were different. But it weren't us who changed. That's okay, Ronnie. I hope you have a good rest. Thanks for dropping in, dude. I'd like to highly recommend people check out Dr. Ronnie. He's a fan of games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and Spider-Man. He's going to be doing a playthrough of Spider-Man 2, his second playthrough of it. He wears a hat when he streams, and he changes what hat he's wearing depending on the game. Great streamer with a great community, so highly recommend. And I hope you have a good rest, Ronnie. Hope you have a good sleep. White Monk. Throgmorton. Yep, really posh. Throgmorton. I am Throgmorton the Third, of the Patriarch of the Sea. Stan, good night, Ronnie. Have a nice sleep. Whoa, Lloyd, check out the Hathis at 12 o'clock. That's almost 3 hours away. Can't I check them out now? Thanks for redeeming that, Casper. Good one. Good one, Harry and Lloyd. That is a great quote, Ronnie. It really is.
Goodbye, and good hunting, Mr. Throgmorton. Good evening, Mr. Delaney.
What? Ah, you're that doctor.
I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where I could find him?
I really don't know. I heard he'd been abducted. I don't know if he's back.
Who could tell me then?
About the sad saint. I'll try asking Tom Watts about him.
Goodbye, Mr. Delaney.
No one dares go outside.
You still working at this hour?
Miss Cavendish, would you be willing to help me locate Sean Hampton?
You better ask Tom, sir.
Why not answer me directly?
We respect the privacy of our customers here, sir. Only Tom can decide who to speak to and what he'll say to them.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish.
Welcome back, Doctor. What can I do for you?
Tom, I need to find Sean Hampton as quickly as possible. I've been told you could help me.
I heard the sad saint was recovering at Pembroke Hospital. Did he leave or something?
I believe he returned to his flock. Can you confirm that?
Oh, I bet you're right. Sean can't help but worry about the poor and sick. Oh, I guess it has something to do with what happened to him as a baby.
Please, tell me.
Well, I don't like to gossip, but I heard that the sad saint was abandoned as a baby in front of a Catholic orphanage in Dublin. That would explain his faith and need to help everyone.
The important thing is I find him, quickly.
Why not try his night asylum? He takes care of those who need a meal or a roof there.
Where is it?
It's in an old warehouse, northwest of here. Just follow the bank to the west and go north when you reach the end of the pier.
Goodbye, Mr. Watts.
So few clients.
Hey there, Talion. Good morning. How are things with you and the Physician of Darkness coming along? Very nicely, very nicely. We're in Chapter 3. Been focusing on doing main story missions. And we've been going around trying to find this dude who left hospital in quite a hurry, to say the least. And I'm doing well, Talion. Things are going good today. How about yourself?
Another disgusting...
Seems like the guard of Prewin is on Sean Hampton's trail, too.
Oh, so much for hearing that dialogue.
That's gotta hurt! All of you bloody leeches need killing! Crush the leech, boys! I hear leeches! Die, vermin! Die, beast! Burn it, boys! Die,
Bullshit. I was dodging. Good, you're glad, Talion? Things are going well. You're relaxing on your day off, so all good, thanks. Is this a boss battle? Well, I'm glad to hear that you're going good, Talion, and that you can relax and enjoy your day off. I hope it goes really slowly. It is, it seems, yeah. Yeah, sometimes you come across bosses like this. Maybe now I can hear that dialogue that I interrupted from getting too close.
Another disgusting ghoul did it, don't you think?
I don't think so. The wounds are clean, but it's methodical.
A freaking vampire then?
I can't say, but whatever did this carefully avoided the archers. We've found ourselves a bloody artist.
See them fancy clothes? This one's a top! Snap it, Leech! Want some of this? Oh, that's got a spot! All of you bloody leeches need that's killing. Gonna hurt! Cross the leech! Take a breath of this!
The wounds on this corpse are deep, the result of rabid rage. If this is Sean's doing, he's become a murderous beast.
Come on, game, after all that, they don't drop any resources for me? Fuck off.
Easy does him! Watch out! It's a killer!
We get something from these enemies, but not a big fucking boss fight. Talk about bullshit. faster reflexes than a vampire? Don't think so, mate. If this wasn't a video game, none of these human enemies would even see this vampire. They'd all be dead within seconds. Oh, I'm just gonna dodge a superhuman attack. Yeah, sure. Sure. Like they're fucking Neo from the Matrix.
This one's mine! Shoot it! I'll send you to hell. Over there! There's one of them vermin!
I have this thirst for blood. I can't believe I'm doing this. I have this thirst for blood. It's locked.
Then how, game, am I supposed to get to the fucking bloody objective?
I cannot enter.
Fucking dead ends in games piss me off.
It's locked.
No, of course it's fucking locked. You're a fucking vampire. Teleport up to the top of that fucking building. Jesus fucking Christ. This is where friggin' gameplay logic versus the realism within the game universe you're playing in just clash. It's like, so you're telling me a vampire can't get through a gate? Bitch, please.
It's locked, all right.
Imagine in the Blade movies, Blade like, oh, I don't know, I can't go through this gate. Guess I've got to go 5,000 miles in the wrong direction to get to the spot that starts putting us on the right path. Blade would be like, fuck this gate, kick it open, go through it. We're a fucking vampire. We're not a helpless human or a human that can't climb over barbed wire things. Like, yeah, if they had something to say that while he is a vampire, he doesn't have the superhuman strength yet. I mean, that'd be...
I cannot enter.
That would be fine. You cannot enter, so you can't climb up on the top of this and then jump over there. Vampires are kind of like the Superman of video games in the sense that you have a very powerful kind of character, but they got to find cheap ways to make them weak enough to not be able to get past certain things.
It's locked.
Can I get a hit in, please? Open the fucking door. Oh, that's right. We can't open doors in combat. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that one of Vampyre's weaknesses was they couldn't open doors when in conflict. Code, Vampire's greatest enemy in 1800 England. Doors. Exactly, Code. It's so ridiculous. Plus, you come across a locked gate. I can't open this gate. You're a vampire. Just fucking rip it open. What they should have done is they should have been like, right, what's a vampire weakness that we can have the vampire hunters exploit? I don't know, how about the vampire hunters put certain traps on doors that ward off vampires so that they can't access the area? Simple. That would make sense if they did something like that. But simply having it that the door's locked, a very mundane thing, is ridiculous. I hate these guys with the fucking torches. They do this dumbass flailing thing and back off, which somehow is OP against you. I know the flames hurt the vampire, but the fact that they're moving back while doing it makes them OP while doing it, apparently.
Not like that! Filthy fucking beast! I hate leaving!
Bullshit! Bullshit!
Sorry, sir. No admittance. I'll take its head!
Game loop, there's no lock-on enemy while in combat in this game. There is gamer loop, but I only really use it for very certain situations. I find it actually more freeing to not lock onto an enemy. It gives me the ability to dodge in any direction without the camera interfering with the orientation of where I'm dodging to.
Want some of this? This is not a place for you, sir.
Danger is closer than you think. They're already here. Do not let them take the kingdom. See a vampire, seek for help. Ichabod Throgmorton, expert vampire hunter. I like that. The way that they make the vampire look like that is a reference to his look in the classic movie Nosferatu.
It's locked, all right. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. May I have your attention for a minute?
Good evening, sir. My name is Giselle Paxton, but I don't have time for men like you.
Have we met before?
No, but I just need to look at your fancy clothes to know that you must be desperate to visit the docks at night.
That's quite judgmental of you.
Sir, I've led enough strikes when I had a job to identify you as an enemy of the working class.
May I ask what you do for a living?
I'm killing myself scraping for a living. And you? Have you ever had to struggle in your entire life?
As I told you, I'm a doctor. You have to work a lot to earn that title.
Oh, a doctor. Born with money in a nice house, were we? Was Daddy a banker or a doctor himself?
Why such hatred? Are you judging me by my clothes and my job?
Course I am. Fuck, you're so blind. You don't even see your privilege. Lazy people like you disgust me.
Ha! Right. Lazy people, huh? Fine, whatever. Next time you need healing, and the only person that can help you is someone who's trained to be a doctor, just tell them that they're being lazy.
What can you tell me about this vicinity?
Tell you what, just spend a few weeks here, and then ask me that question again. If you're still alive, I mean.
Well, I think Gazelle's going to be embraced.
If you have something to say, say it. I'm getting tired of all this.
Oh. You want information instead? Well, here's some for you. Giselle Paxton does not like you at all, Doctor.
You don't know me, Miss Paxton, and yet you see me as an enemy.
Your manners, your clothes, your words tell me everything about you, sir. I know your kind, and you don't belong here.
Oh no, Miss Paxton, you really don't know my kind. You have no idea who I am.
All right, okay. No need to get all worked up.
Oh, I see. Who got worked up? Who's been the one worked up the whole time during this conversation?
You speak of strikes and class enemy. Am I right to assume you're involved in trade union activism?
You bet I am. Well, I was. Nowadays, I'm just another worker blacklisted by the big companies.
Isn't the whole point of trade unions to help workers in need? Why don't they support you?
A few nights back, I lost the money my companions had asked me to hide. With me and my sister being penniless, they thought I stole it.
What really happened?
I drank too much that night. Strange men saw me count the money in that bar. Some sort of militia in uniform. I'm sure they robbed me.
You lost your job because of your beliefs.
Those bastards really hate a worker who refuses slave wages and unsafe conditions, especially when it's a woman.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me?
What is it you want? Does he owe you money? Has he displeased your Royal Highness? I'm no snitch, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Well, I'll leave you for now. Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
Handwritten prayer. Dear Lord, this is my prayer for my beloved mother, Gertrude Paxton, who now awaits her daughters in heaven. Until that day, I thank you for allowing me to wake up and go through each new day in honest poverty and modesty. Please protect the good Mr. Hampton, who let us sleep in his night shelter. I humbly ask you to forgive me for the resentment I feel toward my sister, Gazelle, since mother died. Blessed be her soul. Thank you, God, for hearing me. Amen. Old newspaper. The bomb exploded just after dawn in front of the Dawson & Dawson munitions factory, the largest employer in the district. The detonation smashed the windows of all the factories in North Southwark. It's a miracle only 2 people died in the attack, confirmed Chief Superintendent Alexander Brighton.
It's locked.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. Can I help you?
A fancy doctor lurking at night by the docks? Not fishy at all.
And what about you? Working outside at night in this dangerous part of town?
You want to know my secret? I'm trying to earn money. And I'm Lottie Paxton, by the way.
Is it not dangerous to work here at night?
As long as I have good legs, I can run away from trouble. The Sad Saint now provides me and my sister a bed and a roof. I don't want to lose that.
What can you tell me about the Sad Saint?
It's just the nickname of Sean Hampton, the Sad Saint of the East End. He gave me shelter, and he's not always sad.
Are you homeless, Miss Paxton?
Mr. Hampton's night asylum is our new home now. It's a safe place for me and my sister.
What can you tell me about this place? How are things here?
It may be okay for a strong girl like me, but a dandy doctor from the city like yourself, you better watch your back, Mr. Reid.
Which local dangers must I avoid?
Well, the gangs, the thieves, the drunks, the jobless. A man with your fancy clothes will attract a lot of attention.
Well, I am not someone so easily intimidated.
Glad to hear that. And if you get into trouble, you can always seek help at Sean Hampton's shelter. No one would dare to be violent there.
You really think I should go back to a safer place, miss?
No. I think you had better stay and help as many people as you can. Just avoid the wet boot boys. Those bastards are worse than the epidemic.
Lottie, tell me about the death of your mother.
Giselle killed her. Plain and simple. She killed her with her daily whims, her laziness, and her complaints.
That's quite a statement. You can't kill someone because you're fickle.
Mother was very ill, but I forgave Giselle. What I couldn't stand was how she cried at her funeral like she was the one left alone.
Perhaps your sister is not as tough as you are.
I know that, and I don't blame her. It just makes me sad that my own sister is the person I understand the least.
Giselle is the only family you have left. Don't you think it's time you forgave her?
Sometimes words are harder to forgive than acts, Dr. Reid.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me?
Mr. Hampton must be in his office at the night asylum he manages, I suppose. Why do you want to see him?
He was a patient of mine at the Pembroke Hospital, but he left abruptly.
I see. Well, Mr. Hampton is a discreet and dedicated man. I'm sure you'll find him soon enough.
Goodbye, Miss Paxton.
I know Sean Hampton is there, but I just want to talk to other characters first. But I don't think there's any other characters that we can talk to that are showing up, at least. Foiled paper. Folded paper. Forgive me, God, for what I'm about to confess. Sometimes I wish I'd never saved Dyson Delaney from drowning when he fell in the canal. There, I said it. Please forgive me, Lord, for I'm just a sinner. Dyson may be the most frustrating case I've ever had to deal with since I opened my night shelter in the East End. For years, I've tried to understand why this man regularly makes me so irritated, and I think I recently found why. Dyson has stopped fighting, for good and forever. I've met so many heavy drinkers in my life, men and women, rich and poor, young and old. I've witnessed their fight with their demons, their past, their guilt, and their failures. Sometimes they can put a name on this inner evil of theirs. Sometimes they have never been able to identify the real cause of their despair. But in most cases, for these men and women, to drink is a way to keep fighting. Of course, it is a useless and destructive form of struggle, but at least this self-destruction means that something makes them suffer, and they still fight against this pain they feel so deep inside. Even a severe alcoholic like William Bishop keeps struggling with his addiction and asking for a salvation, for the light of Christ, and as long as they wish to see this light, there is a place for hope. Dyson Delaney has no hope left. He does not drink to smother his pain. No, I'm now convinced he conscientiously drinks for the sadist joy of smothering all hope. I really don't know what is worse to sin, to deliberately cast away hope from your own heart, or complacently bask in self-destruction.
Why the long face, Doctor?
It looks like we both have changed a lot. I must confess, it saddens me, Sean.
Put your faith in the Lord, Doctor. He has a plan for all of us. We may not always see it, but he does.
Since you left Pembroke, the amount of blood that has been shed, it's hard to believe you, Sean.
Ask what you will. As the Lord is my shepherd, I will not speak a lie to you.
Why return here?
This is my home. These people are my flock. You will always find me where I am needed.
Wonders never cease. Skal managing an asylum.
And what of you? A vampire doctor? Meals laid out before you. Yet you restrain.
And what about William Bishop? He tried to take care of you. But this hunger, this thirst, cannot be restrained.
Alas, poor William. He had a good soul, but was weak in spirit. He could not shake the thirst for booze, never mind blood. But have faith. My will is far stronger than his.
Aren't you afraid of what you've become?
We are blessed, Doctor. Can't you see it? The Lord has made us able to walk amongst the plague and aid those that need it.
Do you think this is a blessing when God's own house and holy symbols repel you?
If that is your burden, Doctor, so be it. But I do not fear the cross, nor am I forced to take the life of another. My kind doesn't share your imperfections.
But you must drink blood now to survive.
No, not your scripture. Whoso eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood hath eternal life, and I will raise him up at the last day. So saith the Lord. I only need to eat flesh, no blood.
Why did you kill Miss Jones at the Pembroke Hospital?
Killed old Harriet? You must be mad, Doctor. Why would I do such a thing?
So you claim Miss Jones' death was not by your hand, nor the other incidents at Pembroke?
Though Harriet was an angry, spiteful woman, she was one of God's creatures. I have nothing but love for all he has made.
But you were close to her?
Of course. But she was lost, separated from the fold. She did not see the hand of the divine in my blessed condition.
People have been murdered. I've seen the blood. I don't believe you can be trusted.
Have a little faith, Doctor. If you will follow, I will guide you to the light.
How do you plan to do that?
Take this key of the old sewers. The entrance is by the riverbank, south from here. There you'll find all the proof you need.
Very well. You have definitely intrigued me. I hope you're right, Sean.
I'll be here when you return. If you still think I'm a threat then, well, I'll surrender myself to your judgment.
Come now, Lottie. There is still much work to do.
Guard of Prewind note, 27th of October, from Guard of Prewind Command Post to Dock Patrols, object, Vampire Hunter Fraud, avoid. Some of our scouts recently spotted the presence of a certain Ichabod Throgmorton near the East End docks. You'll probably see him patrolling the place at night, claiming that he's a specialist of vampire extermination. The man is a fraud, not even a real con man, for he does not charge anybody for the work, but he clearly has no clue what he's talking about. If he ever approaches you for some joined hunt or collaboration, refuse and let him go. In a leech fight, the man is nothing more than bait.
This could be the public house Giselle Paxton mentioned. I should investigate further.
We need to call for reinforcements. We need to call for reinforcements. Hey, to each man his duty.
I'll kill you! I'll put an end to you!
Giselle's stolen money. Prewen has some unethical ways of financing their war.
We need to call for reinforcements.
It's on him! It's on him! Doesn't like fire, does he?
Christ! He's dead!
He's dead!
Hello there, E-Tone. Hope it's going well.
That doesn't work. There must be a way to control the water level in this reservoir. I need to find the wheel. So that's it. These wheels control the water level.
We each got $15. Oh, and a quarter. Don't forget the quarter. Shut up, Arthur.
I like that moment from Red Dead 2. Thanks for redeeming that as a Bane impression.
That gate should shut properly now.
These maggots have escaped the wrath of Ascalon for too long. It is time to purge the sewers of their filth.
You again. The one they call the sewer dog.
Hold your tongue, newborn, or I'll crush you like a maggot.
You've let the beast consume you.
Finally! A touch of lucidity. So learn to respect the laws of Ascalon! dare challenge the dictates of Ascalon? Once you vanished, I'll slaughter these skulls while singing your name! Foolish Egon! It shall snap again. Slow as a snail! Tear thee apart and spill my blood to the pistol! You found your death in me! I shall crush you. Return to your apothecary.
Casper, another boss fight with no loot? Yep. Gotta love it. And what loot I am finding, we find everywhere in the game.
At least one skull escaped Virgil's wrath. The poor creature is bleeding to death. He cannot be far. How could he have made it this far? There's blood everywhere.
Safe we are, still. Drink now. This isn't the blood of a vampire, but it will quench your thirst.
This is our domain, not yours. You've been warned.
Wait, I saved you from this creature. That must count for something.
Thank you. Now go. Go back to the streets and houses. There is no love lost between us, Vampire. But thank you.
Sean Hampton sent me here. I believe he wanted me to find you. Who are you?
If you must know, they call me Old Bridget. And this shelter is where we live.
I'm Jonathan Reid. I'm a newborn Egon. I'm afraid I'm not sure what's going on.
I shall not bend a knee, young Ekon, but I sense your pain. Ask, and I will afford you my attention.
Why was that creature after you?
Fergal is the blunt instrument of the Ascalon Club. His masters would see us dead or turned into slaves if they had their way.
What the hell was that thing? He wasn't an Ekon or a Skal.
They are known as Volkod, an ancient offshoot of immortals. Blood drives them, enrages them.
What of this Ascalon Club?
Vampire society's elite in the Empire. They make the rules and enforce their judgment upon us whom they see as lessers.
So was it you that Sean Hampton sent me to find?
Perhaps. The sad saint was always kind to us. He must trust you if he revealed our location.
Sean is a Skal. All those I've encountered have been violent, crazed creatures. How can he be any different?
Maybe because he is the sad saint. Or perhaps because I am old Bridget of the Sewer Skulls.
Sean killed a patient of mine. And that's just one of the murders he's being hunted for.
If you refer to Harriet, she is now among us and under our protection.
Harriet Jones is alive. That's it. That's the proof Sean wanted me to find. I must talk to her.
No. Harriet is not alive. But you can speak to her. I must warn you. She is fragile and may not receive you warmly.
I don't understand.
She is filled with bile and hate. Her mind is sharp as a tack, but her body is so weak. I've never seen its like before. She is resting in a room on the far right of this hideout.
Thank you. I will bear that in mind.
Eternal gratitude for your protection, Master. Eternal gratitude for your protection, Master. Old Bridget says you are one to trust.
How is London? I've not seen beyond these walls in such a long time.
Supremacy of Ekons. It is no coincidence that Ekons are the most eminent and most numerous of all vampires. Ekons are the true aristocracy of immortals and, if I may add, they are the only ones able to stay at the top of the food chain. Everywhere I've travelled, I only met Ekons assuming mortal lives or forming an immortal society. Ekons are the most human, most clever, and most educated of all vampires. Don't get me wrong here, I have nothing against more exotic species like Volkod, who share the gift of immortality with us. Most of them can prove useful, if properly canalized toward a clear goal, but they lack the most important trait of all, the ability to mingle with mortals without being spotted. Therefore, the Ascalon Club should only accept Ekon of the highest lineage as member of its inner circle. Depending on circumstances, Volkods could be accepted as war dogs or hunting hounds, as long as they obey our laws. Luckily enough, These lesser cousins have a natural tendency to submit and obey their masters. From The Law of Ascalon by Lord Redgrave, founder.
Hello, Harriet. Do you recognize me?
Yes, you were from the Pembroke Hospital. The young doctor. So full of secrets.
I've so many questions I need to ask you, Harriet. If you would.
I love questions. As for the answers, you may not like them.
How do you feel?
I can't see. I can't move. My body's burning. I feel as if I'm dying over and over again.
Have you tried to eat or drink something?
People here tried to feed me, but I'm just not hungry. I don't have the strength.
Does the pain ever stop?
It is not pain I feel. It's like I can't stop feeling every inch of my body. But at the same time, each muscle and bone is the wrong place.
Your room, the blood. What brought you to fake your death in such a gruesome fashion?
To see if I would be mourned.
Do you take pleasure in causing so much pain and sorrow?
Nobody gave a damn about me. Not a tear shed. Poor Harriet. Always the discarded.
Why flee with Sean Hampton?
Oh, it's always a pleasure to see a saint fall to sin. But the coward still won't kill.
Why did you come here?
And why not? This is where I live now. Leave me be.
So you desire to stay here?
Yes, I'm with my own kind. Birds of a feather, so to speak. Poor Harriet, always alone.
Will you respect old Bridget's wishes? Will you obey her?
Bridget is kind. She only needs to keep me fed and I'll be good.
I have a question of the utmost importance to ask. Will you answer?
Questions, questions, questions. The good doctor, always searching for answers.
Do you remember what you did after leaving the hospital? Did you kill anyone?
First, a question from me. You answer first.
Very well then. What do you want to know?
Are you like me? Are you also dead?
We are not dead, Harriet. Death no longer pertains to us. We are different.
I like what I am. I truly do. I relish the pain that courses through me.
I know you fled the hospital with Sean Hampton. Did you or Sean kill anyone in your flight? Anyone? Try and remember.
I will not lie. I wanted blood, and I wanted revenge, and Sean pulled me from it, brought me here instead. But the shadows heard my prayers. The shadows killed that bastard.
Who was that man? The one murdered in the street?
He used to be my landlord. I lived here for many years before falling ill. Oh, he was an awful man. Disgusting and cruel. So cruel.
You sought vengeance by your own hand, and someone else obliged you. Very convenient. Don't lie to me.
I don't lie. I saw him near the docks, and rightly I wished him dead. And I am happy he is. It's true. But I didn't kill him. I was too tired.
Shadows? Tell me what you saw.
The shadows. They heard me and answered. Something in the deep darkness. Quick, deadly. It asked me if I wanted revenge. I answered, yes.
And these shadows, this presence, do you still hear it? Was it a vampire? Did Sean see it?
It spoke only to me, and now it is silent, but it is born of hatred. And it will kill again. And it hates you, Doctor. Oh, it hates you.
What makes you say that?
It whispered your name, Dr. Reid. It wanted to know who you were and where you went.
Questions about me? What did you say?
Nothing, Doctor. I said nothing. There was nothing it didn't already know. Oh, I'm tired now. Let me rest.
Have you found the answers you were looking for, young Ekon?
There is too much left unanswered. So many questions.
Get to know us. Spend time with us. And I may be willing to answer more questions.
Your diction, your words. You do not carry yourself like most Skulls I've encountered.
True. I'm not like most Skulls.
You were once someone else. What happened to you?
It is as sad as it is long, young Ekon, but it will remain mine.
Can I be of service to you?
We ask but one thing. Reveal to no one our secrets. Do not betray us.
For how long have you been in hiding here?
Skulls have been hiding under London since vampires first entered the city.
Where did you hide before the sewers?
We claimed ancient tunnels, forgotten caverns, catacombs. We are Skulls, groveling beneath the feet of our makers.
Why do you live here, amongst filth and vermin?
Live. Here we hide.
What are you hiding from?
From the guilt, the shame, from the hunters and the light. And of course, our past.
Why don't you leave the city? Hide somewhere far from the Guard of Priwen, the Ascalon Club.
We are the Sewer Skulls. This is our domain. We have run as far as we can, and now we hide.
What manner of creature is Harriet? She is different from everyone else.
I really don't know. I'm not even certain she's a Skull. I've no idea as to what blood made her.
What is a Skull, in fact, in your honest opinion?
The progeny of a vampire, disavowed by her maker. Perhaps a fruitless branch of a noble tree. A word used to enslave us. I cannot say.
You mentioned that vampire blood has tremendous potency. You believe it to be stronger than your own?
The vampire's sweet blood. That rich, dark wine that we crave. For it made us, and it can sustain us.
I thank you for your time, madam. I must go back to Hampton now.
Your kindness has been ample payment, Ekon. To protect us, I'll close the access to our hideout, but you can use our shortcut to reach Mr. Hampton's shelter. Just follow the arrows.
Thank you, old Bridget. I hope we'll meet again.
Thank you, Etone, for redeeming the vampire movie quote. What's your name? Clove, sir. Well, Clove, isn't your master joining us for dinner? No, sir, I'm afraid not. Is he indisposed? He's dead. I'm sorry if we appear a little dense. Perhaps you could explain. Explain, sir? Yes, you seem to have expected us. Ah, this dinner, our rooms, the carriage, everything. You see, sir, my master is dead, but instructions were left that the castle should always be ready to receive guests. I am merely carrying out his wishes. I see. Who was your master? His name was Count Dracula, an old and distinguished family. That is the coat of arms over the fireplace. Does no one hold the title now? My master died without issue, sir, in the accepted sense of the term. So that's from a Christopher Lee vampire movie. It's the second one that he did for Hammer, and that was Dracula, Prince of Darkness. It's an old movie. But the title of this stream, Physician of Darkness, it's my reference to that movie title, Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Hey, gamer guy. How's it going?
Eternal gratitude for your protection, Master.
It's going good. Yeah, things are going good.
I cannot enter.
How's things going with you? Now I can go through the door. Gamer guy, you chilled, you got time off work, so enjoying it. Oh, nice. That's excellent. That's awesome. I hope it goes real slow.
It's locked, all right.
Welcome back, Dr. Reid. Would you like to take communion with me now?
Sean, are you eating raw flesh?
It is the sacred flesh of the mortal lamb. Our Lord's bountiful transmutation for the sustenance of his believers. Thank you, Lord. I am your most humble servant.
So, true to your word, you waited for my return.
I told you, Dr. Reid, I was a man to be trusted. Did you have words with the poor Harriet?
This shelter's the tip of the iceberg. You hide your game well, I'll give you that.
We are God's children, Dr. Reid, one and all, and he's determined to save us.
What will be the result if you continue to assist both Skulls and the living?
For the last decade, that's what's been happening. And they found a better life. What's to change?
You're forgetting the epidemic. Things can go south very quickly. I've seen it.
Oh, these are terrible times. Only those pure of heart shall prevail.
You've turned Skull now. Don't you see the danger to anyone giving you their trust?
We are all sinners, awaiting salvation. This is a simple truth, ordained by the Lord Almighty. I am a seeker of his glorious light.
Does this place belong to you? How can you be so certain you can keep it open?
This warehouse was once property of the Dawson family, but has been bequeathed me through donation.
The Dawsons? The wealthiest family in London? Have they a clue as to what goes on here?
Not at all. The donation was made before the war. The building was run down. I never met Aloysius Dawson myself.
So you have the run of the place and no one's taken notice?
As long as we keep to ourselves, we interest no one. This is a haven, and I pray it remains so for eons to come.
Gamer guy, you don't know this game, so you're looking at it with open eyes. Yeah, it's been an interesting experience, this game. There's a bit of learning curve with the systems of stealth, health, and blood level that you sort of have to get used to as well. And enemies can be OP randomly sometimes. Plus, if you get multiple enemies surrounding you, they can do you in very quickly if they stun lock you with multiple combo attacks and stuff. But overall, I've been enjoying the game. I think it's a good one. I've been enjoying the story, the decision-making process, also the citizens in the districts that you can help, because you're playing a doctor, so you can give them healing. If they're suffering from something, you can give them healing for it. You mix certain things, certain cures for what they have, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's kind of an interesting sort of take. They use quite well the fact that you're playing a doctor who's a vampire really well.
Harriet, Miss Jones has been behaving in a most violent manner. She's going to need special attention.
That's precisely the reason I brought her here. To meet old Bridget. She's the guide Harriet requires.
Who is this old Bridget?
I don't know, Doctor. She rarely speaks of her past, but I know she has a long one. She's likely the oldest soul in the city.
Harriet is possessed by her hatred. You cannot let her roam free. She's dangerous.
She has joined her own kind, Doctor. Old Bridget is a saint to the younger Scals, guiding them to salvation and peaceful existence.
I believe I've learned all I need to know. I'm certain you've killed no one, but one day I believe you'll cross the line.
Logic is a false prophet. Faith is the only path to salvation.
What do you mean?
We have been blessed with God's eternity. We are the instruments of his divine will. We shall feed the hungry forever and ever. Amen.
I will strive to emulate your merciful nature, Sean, but it's a difficult pledge to make.
Give yourself over to God, Doctor. Expel your urges and kneel before the Lord in praise.
These urges... You know the hunger will never be satisfied.
I've come to embrace the everlasting craving. I have sworn to feed only upon the flesh of the dead. It is now my sacrament. Take, eat. This is my body. So saith the Lord.
Okay, turn. You sacrifice 500 XP in the process. You will heal through my blood. You can kill him now, it seems, or you can spare. Turn. I sacrifice 500 XP in the process and will heal through his blood.
My discoveries. Vampire blood would enhance your metabolism, perhaps even heal you. If what old Bridget says is true, I'll give you some of mine.
I'd rather not. It would be extremely awkward.
You have no choice, Sean. It's the only way to protect your cheptel, those still amongst the living.
No, Dr. Reid. God made me this way. Who am I to disobey his will?
You believe that God's plan was for you to be abandoned at birth?
The Lord works in mysterious ways.
I can't imagine God intended for you to be molested by a priest in an orphanage. Drink, friend.
No.
I said kneel and drink. Now.
Casper, he is a bit crazy, just a little bit, just a tiny bit, just a small bit. A crazy priest who's a vampire. Well, he's a vampire now.
It's locked.
Gamer guy, yeah. The Sewer Skulls territory. Okay, so we're going to go to the safe haven here. This is where I'm going to end this stream to go on my break and then come back later with another stream. Portrait of a Sad Saint. If you've ever lived near the docks of East End, you must know who Sean Patrick Hampton is, and if not, you might have heard of him. His name is starting to spread through the entire capital, and the song it sings is one of hope. Sean is the humble founder of the Hampton Asylum, an establishment that he built with his own hands and convictions. The building, as an abandoned warehouse gracefully donated by the Dawson family, then renovated and transformed into what is now the most famous asylum in London. The poor and hungry are welcome under his roof, and with them he shares his food, his care, and his prayers. Sean Hampton came from a background of misery, but the hardships of life didn't disfigure or maim his profound trust in the Lord. If anything, the faithful man gained an acute empathy in exchange for the torments of poverty. His love of others is renowned throughout the docks. Rare are those who didn't witness Sean cry at the sight of an infirm veteran, an orphan child, or a sick mother. That how he gained his nickname, the Sad Saint of the East End. Sean Hampton is so respected that people still stay in his shelter even after the Sad Saint contracted a mysterious disease which forces him to rest a lot. and take his meals away from his flock, while in some other parts of London, people step back as soon as someone coughs in public. Men and women accept to eat and sleep in the Hampton Asylum. It's the safest place in the East End docks. The building looks dirty, the stench around the place is awful for a delicate soul, but there is hope and love there, and the death toll has been low and stable for days. That's a result of our actions in turning him. Okay, so I just want to thank everyone so much for watching this stream. I'm going to be back in 1 hour and 30 minutes to do the next stream. For those people who won't be able to make it to the next one, that's completely fine. Thank you so much for watching this stream. For those who will be able to, I'll be continuing on. This is my Monday through to Friday game at the moment, so I'll be doing this until I finish it, and then I'll be replacing it with another game. I'm not sure what that will be at this point. It could be a different game and then the remasters of Tomb Raider 1, 2 and 3, or it might take me a few more streams to get the game done and then finish it next Tuesday. But whichever the case may be, this is the Monday to Friday game until such time as I finish it, and on the weekend is Red Dead 2. So if you see me streaming this again, then you know it's still Tuesday. I'll be back in 1 hour and 30 minutes to continue on. Definitely see you again soon, Gamer Guy. Would like to highly recommend people check out Tylian. He plays a lot of third-person action-adventure games like Alan Wake, as well as Control, also Horizon Zero Dawn, as well as Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. He has a great channel, really chill dude, very relaxing streams, so highly recommend. Also definitely recommend checking out Dr. Ronnie. He's playing games like Red Dead Redemption 2, Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, as well as GTA and Assassin's Creed Black Flag. He wears a hat when streaming, and he changes what hat he's wearing depending on the game. He's another great streamer to check out if you haven't already. No worries for the shout out, Tylian. No worries at all, man. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll be back in 1 hour and 30 minutes with more Vampyr.